Here we have a weather focus chart of Kolkata from 20th to 26th June 2022. Earlier, we had used this chart to plan a short trip to the outskirts of Kolkata. Now we can see from this chart that this week was very stormy and cloudy. In many cases, we had thunderstorms. So, do you think this week was appropriate to plan for the trip? Absolutely not. None of the days were suitable for our plan, and therefore we had to postpone our plan. But what do we understand from this? From this chart, we understand that the atmospheric conditions of weather changes every day. So in the previous slide, we saw that atmospheric condition changes every day. Now atmospheric condition not only changes daily but may also change hourly. For instance, the temperature of 19 June 2022 of Sunday morning was 32 degrees Celsius, and on the same day the temperature dropped to 28 degrees Celsius at the night. Now not only temperature but other atmospheric elements like humidity also change. For instance, the humidity in the morning was 58%, but at night the humidity dropped to 24%. Again, there was change in wind speed also. So from these elements of atmosphere, we understand that the state of atmosphere changes very frequently, and this state of atmosphere at a particular place and time is called the weather of that place. So from this weather update charts, we understand that there is frequent change in weather, and weather not only changes daily but it may also change hourly. Now weather is usually recorded at meteorological observatory stations, and we get the news on weather updates from mass media like television, newspapers, radio, internet, etc. Now these are the different weather conditions that we usually experience. In a winter morning, we experience a foggy weather. The weather is full of mist and becomes very hazy. Next, we have cloudy weather. This is very common in rainy season, and cloudy weather is a sign of upcoming rainfall. Next, we have sunny weather. Sunny weather is usually very pleasant if the temperature is not very high. Next, we have rainy weather. Rainy weather are usually very common in monsoon season. Thunderstorms are often accompanied by a heavy rainfall, and these thunderstorms or heavy rainfall are indications of unpleasant weather. Finally, we have snowy weather. Now, snowy weather is very common in higher altitudes or in cold countries. So, these are the different weather conditions that we usually experience. Now, have you ever wondered why rice is the staple food of many tropical countries, whereas people living in temperate countries are usually wheat eaters? This is because the hot and humid conditions of tropical regions are suitable for growing rice, whereas the dry, cool atmospheric conditions of temperate regions are suitable for growing wheat. Now, these atmospheric conditions like polar type, temperate type, tropical type or desert type prevails over a vast region and for a longer time period, and these atmospheric conditions have significant influence on the type of crop we grow, the type of food we eat, and what kind of clothes we wear. For instance, people living in polar regions usually wear warm, heavy woolen clothes, whereas people living in tropical countries usually wear light colored cotton clothes. So the atmospheric conditions that prevails over a vast region and for a longer time period is called the climate of that place. So climate is the long-term pattern of weather over a vast area. And this climate or long-term pattern of atmospheric conditions have significant influence on the lifestyle we lead, that is the type of clothes we wear and the kind of food we eat. Now this map shows the important climatic zones of the world, and we have 4 climatic zones in the world. The first type of climatic zone is polar zone. Now, polar zone is the region surrounding the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere and Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. So, this region in the map marked by this dark green color represents the polar zone. Now, polar zones usually have very harsh cold winters, which is very difficult to survive, whereas the summers are pleasant. The next one is temperate zone. Temperate zone is the region between the Arctic Circle and Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere and the Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. Now, in this map, the region marked by light green shows the temperate zone in northern and southern hemisphere. Now, temperate zone usually have pleasant climate, that is cool winters and warm summers, and usually we do not have extreme winter or extreme summer in temperate zone. The next climatic zone is subtropical zone. Now, subtropical zone is the region surrounding the Tropic of Cancer in northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn in southern hemisphere. So, this region marked by yellow shows the subtropical zone of the world. Now, subtropical zone usually have dry arid climate because the tropics, that is Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, receives the vertical rays of the sun while the rate of precipitation is very low, and therefore most of the deserts are found in subtropical zone and they usually have arid climate. So, most of the deserts are located in subtropical zone and they usually have arid climate. The last climatic zone of the world is tropical zone. Now, tropical zone is the region surrounding the equator. So, this region marked with red shows the tropical zone of the world. Now, tropical zone usually have hot and humid climate, that is they have very high temperature and again very high rate of precipitation. So, most of the rainforests are located in tropical zone. So, these are the major climatic zones of the world, and the climate of these regions usually prevails for a longer time period, and the climate, as we can see from the map, is usually influenced by latitude. But apart from latitude, there are other factors that influences the climate of a place. Now, before we proceed with our lesson, can you help me to answer this question? Which of the following is a climatic condition? Is it cloudy, rainy, foggy or tropical? Well, the correct answer is tropical. Well, if you remember, we just read that tropical is a climatic condition prevailing in the world. So, we read that both weather and climate are states of atmosphere, that is atmospheric conditions. But weather and climate are not exactly the same. So, now let us discuss the differences between weather and climate. The first point of difference between them is the aerial coverage. That is, by weather of a place, we usually mean a small region, say a city or a town. So, weather usually has less aerial coverage. On the other hand, by climate, we usually mean the climate of a larger region, that is of a country. So, climate usually have a broader aerial coverage. Now, weather, as we discussed, changes very frequently, maybe on daily basis or hourly basis. Conversely, climate of a place usually changes after a long time interval, usually a decades. So, it takes a decade for a climate to change. Therefore, climate prevails over a longer time period. The next point of difference is that weather may influence everyday occupations like planning an event, traveling, etc. Now, if you remember, I mentioned at the starting of this video that we had to postpone a plan because the weather of that particular week was not suitable for our plan. So, weather usually influences everyday activities like planning a trip or a vacation, etc. On the other hand, climate has significant influence on important activities like agriculture, industries, and the type of lifestyle we lead. That is, the kind of clothes we wear, the type of food we eat, especially the kind of crops we grow in a particular region, that is on agriculture. So climate has significant influence on these activities. Finally, the scientific study of weather is called meteorology, whereas the scientific study of climate is called climatology. So these are the main point of differences between weather and climate. Now you can pause the video here and have a look at the differences. So in the previous slide, we read that the scientific study of atmosphere or weather is called meteorology. So meteorology is a branch of science that deals with the conditions of atmosphere, its related phenomena, and especially weather forecasting. So the news on weather updates that we get every day, that is of an upcoming thunderstorm or rainfall, or whether it is going to be sunny tomorrow or not. So all these conditions of atmosphere are studied by meteorologists, and all these atmospheric conditions and weather phenomena are part of meteorology. So meteorology is the scientific study of atmosphere and especially weather forecasting. So in this video, we discuss in details about weather and climate, and we also understood the differences between weather and climate. In our next video, we will discuss about the structure of atmosphere. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers, or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubt resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.